This is amazing, man. Didn't you wonder? I mean, I was wondering, how are these people going to get through these confirmations? How are they going to get through the question and answers about their dealings with foreign governments? And here, this just so that you understand how ridiculous all of this is. Okay, we have somebody who is, trying to become the Secretary of Homeland Security, and he hasn't had a background check. Let that sink in for a minute. The Secretary of Homeland Security hasn't gone through a background check. Are the Republicans impervious to irony? Are they absolutely just impervious to it? I mean, Jeff Sessions to be Attorney General, I mean, right there, that's hysterical. That's just so funny. The guy who absolutely despises the Voting Rights Act and almost every civil rights attempt in this country to treat all people equally under law. He opposes almost every effort that's been made in the last century toward that end, is now going to be confirmed as the Attorney General who will be in charge of enforcing our civil rights. And we can't even go through his closet to see what the skeletons are, truly. You know there's white robes in there. I want to see the skeletons. We need to build a wall to keep these people out of the cabinet. And we need to make the billionaires pay for it. This is a takeover. This really is. I mean, if they would have gone through a normal process with the cabinet members, I mean, as he was picking them, I was stunned and horrified that he was picking these. I mean, he picked all of Goldman Sachs, all of them, the foreclosure giants, the bankruptcy kings, the Wilbur Rosses, the Steve Mnuchin. We're not going to get to see their financial statements. Really? We don't even get to see financial disclosures. I mean, you have a tidal wave of Putin lovers, a tidal wave of Putin's business partners, a tidal wave of modern Russian kleptocracy coming into our government. And once they're in place, there's like nothing anybody can do. So the most important step was to at least hear and see what their financial disclosures showed us, so could at least brace ourselves for the bad news that we were about to be turned into an oligarchy, a kleptocracy, that we were about to be a government of the corporations, by the corporations, for the corporations, instead of a government of, by, and for the people, for all these, Republicans that love, to carry around their little constitution. Seriously. Oh, and by the way, Fort Lauderdale, that shooter, mentally ill, access to guns, walked himself into the FBI where he lived and worked as a security guard, saying he heard voices from the National Security Agency in his head telling him to kill people. They briefly took away his gun, referred him for a mental health review or a mental health examination. He was not adjudicated mentally ill. Therefore, a month later, he got his gun back. Same gun he used to shoot up our airport on Friday. Same damn gun. Now all they'll tell me about him is his name is Esteban, and that he was in Iraq, and they think he might have had post-traumatic stress syndrome. And that maybe, they shouldn't have given him back his gun, but really, it's an amazing government we have here. Anyway, Mitch McConnell, of course, who filibustered, absolutely refused to give us a Supreme Court judge, Merrick Garland, refused for almost a year now. He says we need to have the president's national security team in place on day one. Well, maybe things would have moved faster if Trump hadn't taken time out to hang with Kanye West and, make Mitt Romney suck his, in public, which is what he spent his time doing. So this is amazing to me. This is just the most amazing thing. And this is how you know whatever it is that Trump is up to is not good. It's not honest. It's not worthy of us. It's not American. It's not democracy. It's something completely else. Because like I said, there were three people that Obama couldn't get confirmed. One because he owed a couple of dollars in back taxes, another because there was some a conflict of interest in his business dealings, and that was Senator Judd Gregg, and the other couldn't get confirmed, Governor Bill Richardson, because there was some investigation into his business dealings. So God only knows. I mean, you've got these people who are who Donald Trump owes money to Deutsche Bank, like tons and tons. And Deutsche Bank just settled a $7.2 billion settlement for selling toxic loans, but is still the subject of an investigation in our government. And he's going to put somebody that he picked that won't fill out the forms for the background check in charge of overseeing the investigation into his own lender, Deutsche Bank. Oh, my God. Now, that's how you know he's up to no good. If this would have been normal, if this would have been above board, if this would have been, a democratic process, and by that I mean a small d democratic process, if this would have been, something that he wasn't embarrassed about picking these people, then you would not have 5 hearings on Wednesday plus a press conference to confirm somebody like Betsy DeVos, who gave millions of dollars to the senators who will now sit and confirm her while she owes $5 million in election-related fines. That could not possibly happen.